ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਪੌੜੀ। ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਗੁਨੀਗਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਓਮੀ ਸਾਧ ਨਾ ਮਾਰੀਐ। In this pankti, Guruji brings up the topic of literacy and how that doesn't really matter when it comes to one who has sinned or one who hasn't sinned. How literate you are, how educated you are, doesn't matter when you are to be judged. And so if you are educated and yet you are still a sinner, you will still be punished. And if you're illiterate but you are not a sinner, then you will not be punished. That is what Guruji is telling us in this pankti, and he'll elaborate on this topic from here. Jeha kale kalana teveho nao pachariye. In this pankti, Guruji is telling us that what someone does, whatever deeds they do, good or bad, will be permanently acquired into that person's name. So if they do a bad deed, then that deed will be stuck to that person's name, and people will know you for your deeds, good or bad. So if you are a thief, then your name will be your name and the thief. So you will be synonymous with thief. And if you are a saint, then you will be your name, the saint. Your name will be almost synonymous and will be close to saint, because that is the deed that you have done, and that's what people will know you by. So Guruji is just trying to tell us this because our name acquires what we do. And if that's hard work, then that is what our name will acquire. And if it's bad work, then that is what our name will acquire. And that is why we need to be particular in our deeds, in what we do. Aisi kala na khediye jit darge gaya hariye. In this pankti, Guruji uses the example of a game to describe to us why we shouldn't do bad deeds and how that leads to defeat. So Guruji uses this example of a game. This game is to represent our life. And in our life, we have the choice of doing good deeds or bad deeds. And whatever we do will be synonymous with our name, as described in the previous pankti. What Guruji wants us to understand is that doing these bad deeds may bring us to defeat. So Guruji warns us to not do something that will bring us to defeat in this game. Do not make certain plays in this game that will lead us to defeat. And those plays are doing the bad deeds. Now, what this defeat is, and the consequence, is arriving in Waheguruji's court and in Waheguruji's Darbar, and having so many of these bad deeds where you will be punished, as described in the very first pankti, where a sinner, regardless of their literacy, regardless of what they do in their life, as long as they kept on doing bad deeds, then they will be punished. And Guruji wants us to understand that, because this will lead to defeat. These bad deeds and becoming a sinner will lead to defeat in Waheguruji's court, which will lead to punishment, and that will be from Waheguruji's judgment. So in this pankti, Guruji is just trying to warn us and trying to correct our pathway, so we at least start making the plays in this game of life which will bring victory. Padya ate omiya vichar age vichariye. Guruji now connects to his very first point of how an educated person who is a sinner will be punished, while an illiterate person who is not a sinner will not be punished, and how literacy and illiteracy don't matter. And Guruji is pointing this out again, how an educated person and an uneducated person will be judged equally based off of their deeds. That is what Guruji is saying. Padya, which is educated, and Omiya, which is just not educated, will be judged. Their accounts will be judged by Waheguru and Waheguruji's court. So this is a lesson for us that no matter what we do, however much we may educate ourselves and think that we're so good and we're so smart, at the end of the day, it's what we do that matters, and we should be accounting for that and trying our best, at least, to make ourselves look towards the directions of good deeds. So at least our direction and our mindset is in that way. So eventually we start actually doing these good deeds, because that is what Guruji wants us to do. Guruji is trying to teach us to and trying to warn us to do these good deeds, or else this all will happen. We'll be judged negatively and we'll be punished. So that is what Guruji wants us to take away from this pankti. Muchale so agge mariye, muchale so agge mariye. In this pankti and the last pankti, Guruji is telling us that those who do not follow these directions, those who are educated or uneducated, if they keep on going by their own judgment and their own, you can say, intuition of, whatever deeds I do, it doesn't really matter. Whatever I do, it's just to benefit me because they're available. These pathways which contain bad deeds are available and they're just for me. This selfishness and this headstrong mentality won't lead you to anywhere other than punishment. And this punishment will be in the next world. What is Guruji telling us? That's what Agge means. And the next world can be the dunya, the cycles of continuing on and on. This punishment that passes through lifetimes. So what Guruji is telling us is this is the punishment of not following the path of good deeds, and is kind of giving us an incentive to do what is right and to do the good deeds. And that is what Guruji wants from all this. That is why Guruji is telling us about all these this process of being judged, and this process of doesn't matter if you're educated or uneducated, it's what matters are your deeds. He's telling us of this entire process so we learn and so we change, so we don't end up being beaten in the next world. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.